I'm looking at the New England Patriots, who obviously just lost Bill Belichick as the coach and general manager, and I'm saying to myself, what in the hell is going on? They hired Jerod Mayo last year in a seemingly seamless transition, former player, guy on staff, respected dude. And then all of a sudden, they fire Mayo. Guys like Gronk are on national TV. Guys all over the place are on national TV ripping it. Yesterday we talked about it. Others are ripping it. Teddy Bruschi didn't rip it, but he said, look, there's no accountability in the building. There's all this stuff. Do you remember for years and years and years there wasn't all this stuff? Now there's just stuff. Vince Wilfork, who was terrific, and I like Vince Wilfork. I'll tell you why I like Vince Wilfork. If you remember Vince Wilfork, he was about that tall and this wide. And he would wear overalls with no shirt. And it was awesome. And then I watched him playing basketball at his house, I think in Texas in the offseason with his kids. And I'm a big Vince Wilfork fan. Like, I would love to have Vince Wilfork on this show because I just think he's great. I do. I think he's hilarious. I watched him with his kids. He seemed like a good dude. I don't know him. Never met him. Watched him play. Think he's good. But he's a legend. He's now pissed with his former team and the Kraft brothers claiming that Jerod Mayo, the firing was BS and a setup, and that he was never given a chance to succeed despite identifying the franchise quarterback and future in Drake May. Now, let me address that for a second. See, he's not wrong. No, and here's the statistics, or here's the numbers on it. Basically, most back in the day, good coaches, whether it was Krzyzewski in basketball, whether it was, I think I can go through this right. Jimmy Johnson didn't win a game first year with the Dallas Cowboys, couple Super Bowls. I think Landry struggled. I mean, if you go through it, and I had the list at one point, when I was a first-year coach, I hung on to that list because I wanted to remember this. Shula. Guys really struggled to start in the olden days, and they were given time. Developed. Joe, if you can believe this, John Wooden didn't win a national championship at UCLA until his 15th year. Now, a lot of people say, well, he figured it out, he cheated, whatever, but that's a fact. And I agree with this from an old-school perspective. Jerod Mayo was not given a chance. They did have a franchise quarterback, and if you're going to take a team and you're going to take it over, you want a franchise quarterback, and I think it's been pretty established that Jerod Mayo's that guy. But here's the caveat in this day and age. That building. They didn't have buildings back in the day. There weren't like in the building every day was the team. Guys would show for practice, and hell, the 85 Bears went to a high school field in practice. Now, everything is structured. Every day is managed. You know where it's like an office space now in one of those high-rise buildings in downtown wherever you live. And the fact of the matter is, everything matters in that building. And that's not good for a coach. Because one slip-up, one silly, whatever, people make a big deal about it. Now, I wasn't in that building, neither was Vince Wilfork, but something happened there to make them fire Jerod Mayo. He didn't get fired because the team wasn't any good. I promise you that. But I get what Wilfork's saying. There was and should be a time where a coach gets more than 1 year. There's no question. I said forever the Urban Meyer hiring in Jacksonville. I know it's easy. I get all that kind of stuff with people. But the truth of the matter is that set Jacksonville way back. Initially, it set him forward because he did so many different things. He got new nutrition in there, weight coaches in there. They were building a practice facility that was state-of-the-art. And they didn't like him for whatever. Think or say whatever. So the coach matters. The building matters, and I think you should absolutely be given more than 1 year unless there's something nefarious in the back. So this is what Wilfork said. I think it was BS to pull that. And knowing Jerod personally, I know the conversations. There you go. I know what it is. It's just hard to fathom, but that's the business when you deal with certain people. I think it was unfair. So what do you think Mayo was going to do with the same people Bill brought in? Now think about that for a second. Bill Belichick brought these guys in and was so bad that 6 world championship Super Bowl rings didn't cover it. He was out. You say whatever you want. He got fired. So now the new guy is supposed to come in with a rookie quarterback and the same groceries, as Bill Parcells said, and he's supposed to fix the problem that Bill Parcells created and couldn't solve? I agree with this. The only thing I don't agree, and maybe Wilfork is onto something here. He's been in those conversations and he knows what was said. I ain't mad at it. Mayo's the one who found the future quarterback in Drake May. It's just unfortunate, but it's part of the game, part of the business. It is, but it is really, really unfair. If something happens and it comes out and there's something ridiculous, and okay. But again, I'm not in that building, but I know the history of coaches. And coaches being expected to turn something around in 1 year that a 6-time Super Bowl or 7-time, whatever the hell he won, Super Bowl champ couldn't do, that is unfair. No question about it. I'm sorry. I don't question Vrabel's capabilities. I know he can win. He showed that with Tennessee going to the AF Championship in his first year. I know what a great coach Vrabel is. This is very good by Wilfork. It is. I'm not questioning that whatsoever. I'm very happy and thrilled for the Patriots to land Vrabel. I just think it's unfair what Mayo had to go through. He didn't have a chance. It was bullcrap from the get-go, and there's a lot of backstabbing going on. We'll see what happens. All part of the game, I guess, but it's unfair however you slice it. He never had a chance. Now I'm going to go to something. There's a lot of backstabbing in the world of professional and college sports, athletics. Why? There's a ton of money. Hey, man, you can be an assistant coach. You'd go to be a head coach. All of a sudden, those numbers go to 8, 9 digits sometime. I don't know about 9, but 8 digits as opposed to 300,000, 400,000. That's the difference. So there is a lot of backstabbing going on. And I agree with what Wilfork said. I don't know if he's suggesting that Vrabel did it. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like the concern is inside the building with ownership. But he's not wrong. And this is a bad, bad thing for football. This is a bad, bad thing for college athletics. A bad, bad thing for any sport. You know, the best teams develop a bit with the coach. You know, let me go back to Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson doesn't win a game his first year, but he develops along with Troy Aikman, along with Michael Irvin, along with Emmitt Smith and a host of others that they brought in. Next thing you know, they win. Mike Ditka did it in Chicago. He gets their bad program. All of a sudden, he's figuring it out. They put Buddy Ryan in there. They get the defenses going. You know, you can make the argument that Andy Reid did the same thing. You can make the argument that when Andy Reid came into a program right now with the Cleveland or Kansas City Chiefs, that he had to make tough decisions. If he would have had to not make tough decisions and just gone with Alex Smith, maybe he'd have gotten 1 or 2 years. A little different because he was an established coach. But he, along with his staff, have grown with Patrick Mahomes. It's not the same, I know, but it kind of is. You know, football's a lot of guys. Basketball, you can get a great player in there and turn it around. I mean, Magic Johnson goes to Michigan State, and all of a sudden Michigan State's in the Final Four. Carmelo Anthony goes to Syracuse, and all of a sudden Syracuse is winning a national championship. Antonio Davis is the only guy, freshman, other than Purvis Ellison at Louisville, to go win a national championship as a freshman. It's a little different in college now, but one great player can change the entire deal. Well, football's not like that. You kind of got to grow with the organization. You got to grow with the quarterback. You got to learn. They don't know what they have in Drake May. They can say they do, but I guarantee you 2 years from now, somebody in that organization is going to be saying, boy, if Drake May becomes a real player, they're going to say, boy, Drake May really has developed, and our offense now figured it out, and our offensive coordinator and our quarterback coach. That's how teams work. Now, to Wilfork's point, it is amazing, though, that a guy gets 1 year. It is. Maybe, don't know, maybe Drake May didn't like him. Maybe inside the building they felt like, well, they obviously did, that Mayo and his staff weren't going to get the most out of him. But to expect the guy, serious business, to expect the guy in 1 year, think about that. A rookie coach to, in 1 year, flip what Bill Belichick, the head coach that maybe is the most successful head coach ever, couldn't flip. And then you fire the guy. Yeah, I don't know. But it is amazing, isn't it? How all this stuff with Belichick gone. He was like that thing that you smash burgers with. You just kept it down. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, he's out. We got yeast. We got all kind. Every day, somebody's coming out of the woodwork. I'm telling you, the tough-ass dictator-type administrator, executive, coach is very, very valuable and still to this day is. And I think the NFL is going back to that. Speaking of dictator coach, speaking of grumpy dudes, Brian Kelly, who left Notre Dame for LSU because he, in his word, he thought it'd be easier to compete for a national championship, is now claiming that he didn't leave Notre Dame because he couldn't win the big one. I don't know if too many people are buying that, but I will say this. One thing I have learned in this world, people will flip it when you are on the wrong side of the media, and Kelly is on the wrong side of the media. All right, here's the deal, and we talked about this yesterday. Reese Davis and I, nobody was rooting harder against Notre Dame than Brian Kelly. Now, everybody's going to, well, it's my former assistant. I know a lot of those players. I brought it. Okay. All right. But nobody was rooting harder. I can promise you that. After Notre Dame earned a spot in the college football championship game, Kelly got roasted on social media. He coached 12 years, great success, winningest coach of all time, 113-40. He left after the 2021 regular season. He went to LSU saying, I want to be in an environment where I have resources to win a national championship. Okay. And at the time, what did people do? They said, well, he's right. LSU has won it under a couple different coaches, Saban and Les Miles, no question. Notre Dame hasn't won it since Lou Holtz in 88. So people did not question Kelly. They questioned Notre Dame and said, look at LSU, SEC. It just means more. You're going to go and have an unlimited supply. Well, guess what? Kelly's gone 29-11. First year, got to the SEC championship game, which is really good. Tigers haven't made the college football playoff, even in a 12-game playoff. Meanwhile, third-year head coach at Notre Dame, his assistant, Marcus Freeman, is eyeing a national championship. Now, Kelly's going to lie right here. Wait for it. I'm happy for all those guys. I pull for them. They're selling it the way they want to sell it. Why did you leave Notre Dame? You leave Notre Dame because you're taking another challenge. I took Notre Dame to a championship. It's just the way you want to twist it. He's not wrong. You leave Notre Dame to go win a championship. I wasn't leaving Notre Dame because I couldn't win a championship. You can win championships at Notre Dame, but I chose another path because I wanted a different challenge. Well, let's look back at Brian Kelly's statement in 2022. I want to be in an environment where I have the resources to win a national championship. Now, hold on here. That absolutely 10,000% implies that you did not feel that at Notre Dame. That, say whatever you'd like, is a shot at your former school, saying they don't have it. I want to be where, okay, or let's just take Kelly's side. Let's say it's broader than that. And that includes Notre Dame. Let's do that. All right? His intent there seems crystal clear. You can blame people for twisting it out of context, but that is a very concise statement. Kelly felt he did not have the resources to win a championship. And it is odd because he did go to a championship game. He just got pummeled by Alabama. And that's it. But I'll say this, like Brian Kelly, you can say, all right, here's a press conference. Coach, why are you leaving Notre Dame to go to LSU? Well, you know what? I like Notre Dame. Loved it. Great time. Family, great. Won more games than any coach has ever been there. But I'm going to LSU because it's a new challenge. I'm going to LSU because, well, it's become the biggest league, and I see the direction college football is going. No matter where I coach, now wait for it. No matter where I coach, wait for it. You ready? This is how this can get construed. No matter where I coach, I want to be in an environment where I can have the resources to win a national championship. And you can do that at LSU. See what I did there? He didn't say he was leaving, but you can parse it. There's got to be context here, but we're not about context. We're about you did this, you're a bad guy, we don't care, you're on the wrong side of the media. I'm going to give Brian Kelly, hey, look, you tell me, the way college athletics is going, eventually it's going to be the Big Ten, and it's going to be the SEC, and then everybody's going to be a subgroup of it. It feels that way, right? You tell me you're not leaving to go to better weather, incredible recruiting. They've won national championships recently. Stop. Brian Kelly just happens to be on the wrong side of the media, as I am. And when you're on the wrong side of the media, people come at you. Hey, Biden and his soft on crime cronies are now directly impacting celebrity athletes with pits. Listen to this. And I'm not going to say 100%, but I feel this. We all feel that this is because the soft on crime era. Yevgeny Malkin, I love the name. He plays for the Pittsburgh, Penguins. He's a really great hockey player with a great name. Anyway, he's the latest star athlete to have his home burglarized by highly trained professional thieves. Now, before I blame all of this on Biden, let's just understand. It makes sense. This happened in Lima, Ohio, in the early 90s. Lima, Ohio, early 90s. Basketball coach there, Coach Whitney, was a guy I got to know. I'm at a Lima senior game, talking after the game. He goes, yeah, man, I got to have police in my house during games. I go, why? People know I'm here. They break into my house. I've always thought about that ever since then, and that's probably not, I was at Indiana the first time, so it's before 96, 97. I always thought about that, like, oh, that's kind of genius. But now, this is happening a ton. Television station KDKA reports, cited multiple sources, says Malkin's 3 Stanley Cup rings are missing, that at least at the time of robbery, his home security system was down, and his safe was left open. What? Several athletes' homes have been targeted in recent months, including those of NFL stars Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow, NBA guys Luka Doncic, Bobby Portis. I wouldn't get caught in Bobby Portis' house by Bobby Portis. He'll whip your ass and do it nice. Anyway, Mike Conley and NHL player Tyler Seguin. All right, the FBI has warned sports leagues about crime. Listen to this: crime organizations targeting professional athletes. It's said. Now listen to this. It's said in a liaison. Wait, let me get this right. I want to make sure I have this right. It said in a liaison information report obtained by ABC News late last month, the athletes' home were targeted due to the perception they may contain high-end goods, such as designer handbags, jewelry, watches, cash, the FBI said in a report. Yeah, championship rings. I mean, you show those championship rings, and they're as big as my head. Like, I'm basically, let me see if I can do it. I'm wearing my head. And they're all diamonds. This ain't a diamond head. Your ring's worth more than his head. NFL and NBA also issued security alerts to their players after break-ins, some of which occurred when players were away with their teams on road games. The NFL's alert says homes of professional athletes across multiple sports have become increasingly targeted for burglaries by organized and skilled groups. You know, it's not just athletes. Right here off the golf course, a bunch of my friends live on a road. It's not, you know, it's a nice community. It's not stupid. Like, you know, you see homes on a golf course and they're massive, all this kind of stuff. Oh, they're not that. But they're nice homes. And what happens is guys know, they watch. So I don't know how, but they are. And they are in and out of houses in 45 seconds. To the point where now this group of guys and women that live there, they all got guns, they all got golf carts, and they patrol their neighborhood now. They do. They're like, man, you know, you go out your back door, you drive your golf cart to the country club, maybe you're going to get dinner, you come home, and it's robbed. The next door's robbed, and they're watching. They think it's organized gangs coming in from South America. There's a lot of that here in Indy. So it's not just professional athletes. We've got to be diligent in this area. Here's to hoping. What do I got today? I got Dubai. Here's to hoping that Donald Trump and his group get this solved. Here's to hoping that prosecutors get tough on crime. Here's to hoping that these dangerous gangs, ICE comes in and solves them, because it is absolutely not just professional athletes. You hear about professional athletes, but you don't hear about the little street next to Old Oakland Golf Course. You don't. Man, Mike Lombardi. I got to turn this off, but Aaron is texting the hell out of me. Here's the deal. Mike Lombardi is now the general manager of the I never thought I'd say this, the North Carolina Tar Heel football program under Bill Belichick. All right. He clapped back at Mike Florio. Mike Florio is saying, he's lazy. He's just, and Bill Belichick. Yeah, it's great. You know, that's what you do when you're in the media and you want to get some attention. Florio wrote a hit piece that questioned why Belichick was moving slowly in his coaching hires. Now, I got to tell you, it is on to me. I said this with Dan Mullen the other day when he was on, the new coach at UNLV, the busiest I ever was. Ever. in my life at any time was not as a player and a student, going to class, doing all, no. Wasn't any of that. No. The busiest I ever was my first month being the head basketball coach at Bowling Green. I didn't say Indiana or I didn't say one of these big schools. It doesn't matter because you're hiring coaches, you're trying to find players, you're getting to know your own players, you're meeting the fan. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't even describe it. Like when you talk about 20-hour days, that was it. This is not what Belichick appears to be doing, and Florio wrote about it. It is odd. It really is. The situation is doing nothing to fray nerves in Chapel Hill regarding the possibility that Belichick will activate his $10 million buyout and bolt for the NFL. Separate and apart from the question of whether another team will hire him, apparently the Raiders are not interested, even if Belichick wants them to think they are. UNC is bracing for the possibility that Belichick will be gone not long after he arrives. Look at the hires he's made. Freddie Kitchens, a holdover from the prior staff, offensive coordinator. Son, Steve, defensive coordinator. Matt Lombardi, GM. Mike Lombardi's son is an offensive assistant. Chris Jones, former CFL coach who worked for Kitchens in 19, is a defensive assistant. Billy Miller is the general manager's assistant. Moses Cabrera, who worked for Belichick in New England, is a strength and conditioning coach. Well, I got to tell you, the most important guy you're hiring is a strength and conditioning coach. You are. Now, I don't know who he should hire. Neither does Mike Florio. But I'll tell you this, man, you need some dudes in there. You do. Here is Mike Lombardi. He ain't having it. He is not having this BS when it comes to his boss. We're not slow, just being diligent. Hired 3 people on Sunday. Not one is nervous other than this erroneous report. Not one. A completely fabricated story. Thank you. All right. Well, truthfully, this is one of those I get both sides. Honest to God, when you're a college coach, like, here's what you do, and I've said this before about other things, and Belichick knows this. I mean, what the hell? He's hired, fired, had assistants come in. You have a group. When you're in the media and you know you're going to get back into coaching, I guarantee you Mike Vrabel did this over the course of the last year as he prepared to get back into coaching. You're looking. You're seeing assistant coaches. Who works hard? Who doesn't? Who does this? Who does that? And next thing you know, boom, boom. You got a stack, 5 guys you're going to hire immediately, and you've already reached out to them. You do. That's what you do. Belichick, I think he's done it. He's hired some guys, but apparently not enough. Not enough for the world that we live in. All right. I don't know. Better get on it. But more importantly, better get some dudes. Like, I'm watching Indiana, and my guy Signetti's bringing guys in from all over the place. Legendary ring announcer Bruce Buffer is coming to the defense of Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan amidst a wave of criticism from younger viewers who grew up in different generations, believing that the harsh words are a referendum on a new generation of fan who prefer to nitpick rather than to show respect for those who came before them. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure all these shows are great, but I don't watch them. I don't. Like, if I'm watching on Sunday NFL football and I usually, whatever I'm doing, I start at 1, Colts, whatever. And then at halftime, I usually flip to a basketball game, and I come back. Greatest thing about NFL football games is halftimes are short. We live in an ADD era society. The average attention span's 20 seconds. My answer to that might go over people's heads because it's longer than 20 seconds. Go get them. Go get them, Bruce Buffer. So with everything that's going on in the world of social media, the AI, people making things up, people putting up videos that aren't true, they're manufactured. It's almost like, what do you believe these days? Boy, is that true. Whew. The new world does not come from the world I came from, I'm sorry to say. It is not as tough as when we grew up. It's different with all respect to what they go through. We get back to the fact that people are looking to get famous and rich with no talent, doing things that are out of the ordinary. But society's taking a different turn. We're living in a different space. God bless the Bradshaws and God bless the Strahans of this world for keeping up what truly is, to me, the way things should be done, straightforward, honest, and narrow. Yeah. I mean, look, let's be honest. I want people to tell you the truth. This is the second time this week we've talked about a story where people have been mad about, well, they've been mad about people being direct on TV. Inside the NBA's Charles Barkley and Shaq had a scathing article written about them about their being too, quote, mean. they're being too, quote, I don't know, I'm not going to quote it because can't remember the exact words, but basically criticizing the NBA too much, which according to the writer is, well, detrimental to the NBA and they shouldn't be on TV. I'm like, wait, what? Say what? All right. I mean, whatever you think is fine. And by the way, John Gruden comes up. Speaking of guys that tell the truth, he's coming up in a couple of minutes. But the truth of the matter is, I just want people to tell me the truth. I don't care if you're old. I don't care if you're young. Don't try to BS me. Don't try to run circles around it. Guy's not blocking here. See this? He didn't block. Guy's not running back on defense. Watch this. Guy got right past 3 guys on defense. The hell are we talking about? Damn! This is unbelievable. Now, I don't know if we ever seen no ish like this, at least among the women. And I ain't mad at it, but Nancy Mace, who's a friend of the show, is a staunch advocate for a bunch of things, one of which is, well, use your own bathroom, dudes. Use your own bathroom, women. Hey, look, women, play against women. Dudes, play against dudes. Dudes that are becoming women, don't play against women. Women that are becoming men, don't play against women. Pretty much, a lot of other things, but Nancy Mace is all in the news. And, man, she went freaking off. I mean, off after being labeled as a child by fellow Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett during a debate about transgenders, offering to take it outside. That's right. We're going to take this ish outside. Listen to this.
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order.
If you want to take it outside, wow. You want to take it outside? All right. Okay. There you go. I got to tell you, I've never heard that. I mean, maybe it's happened, and maybe we just are paying more attention, certain to both of these, Crockett and Mace. No question we're taking and we're paying attention to both, no doubt. But the fact of the matter is I've never heard that. I mean, we've seen a dude, that Bowman guy, pull the fire alarm. I've never seen that. But damn, you want to take this outside? Huh. Okay. Put up your dukes, lady. I'm going to grab your, we're going to fight. Order was restored, and it went a bit more civil. But damn, take it outside. Hey, President Biden on Wednesday delivered his farewell address from the Oval Office. Biden used the address to highlight warnings for the future of the country, among them that a rising oligarchy is taking shape and threatens American democracy. Well, the oligarchy is one of the things that Trump is trying to and has exposed. I think most people understand that there's like a group that wants a new world order, and it's a rich dudes that kind of control everything. Here's Biden.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. Just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. We've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that is exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules. Pay their fair share of taxes.
I pay the hell out of taxes. I ain't wealthy, but I pay my off in taxes. I mean, to buy this cup, we paid taxes. To buy this pen, we paid taxes. Property taxes, homeowners taxes, taxes on your insurance, taxes on your groceries, taxes on your gas, taxes on your car, taxes on your income, taxes on every damn thing. Who the hell isn't? Then redo the tax code. Make it about this thick. Simply this. If you want everybody to pay, all right, we got a 10, 15, or 20, whatever, name the number, percent tax. That's it. Go make as much money as you can. But every single person without a loophole is paying 10, 15, or 20% tax on their income. But damn, you don't pay your fair share. Do you? How'd you make so much money and live in so many mansions by, I don't know, making $270,000 a year, at least in salary? How'd you do that? Did you pay tax on all that? Didn't your son, isn't he got a problem with tax evasion? I mean, what are you talking about? Didn't you bring in George Soros? Didn't you bring in Oprah? Didn't you guys bring in billionaires? I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What's going on here? And we're going to fight that till the end. That's all you got. It's like a wind-up doll. Hey, pay your fair share. Really? Rich people. This dude's got 4 mansions worth minimum couple million apiece. You tell me. Who's all paying what? How they getting rich? No, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting. But that's just what they keep going and doing. That's it. That is all they do. Taxes? We talking about taxes? Taxes? Man, are you crazy? Honest to God. We get tax. You take a tax. Everything in here. Tax. Tax this, tax that, tax all this stuff. Tax it, you know what I mean? Jesus. Pay your fair share. Nick, get in here. We haven't seen Nick in a couple weeks, months. Where has Nick been? People are asking me. I don't know. Nick, did you ride the subway, bus today?
I rode my damn bus today, every day.
You got your ass taxed, didn't you?
Damn right I did. $7 to ride that damn thing.
Honest to God, I wonder how much of that is taxed. You know what I mean? I do. I wonder how much of that is taxed. Like, it's just amazing. You know, it really is. All right, I got to ask you a couple questions. I haven't heard from you in a minute. You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Bill Belichick, will he win 10 games at North Carolina next year as the football coach?
I'll give him 7 wins, 8 wins. I don't know about 10.
All right.
What was North Carolina's record last year?
They won like 6 or 7. They got in a bowl. You know what I mean? National championship game. The spread is 8.5 last I looked. What do we got?
I'm going to Ohio State. Ohio State will cover.
You're giving the 8.5?
Yeah. I think it'll be.
You're kind of dull today. Why are you being dull today? Don't be dull today.
I'm keeping my responses short so we don't overlap and you don't get mad at me. That's the one thing that I've learned. So I'm keeping my shit short and sweet.
Who wins Ohio State and you're giving the 8.5?
Correct. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Ohio State. I think Ryan Day eventually redeems himself.
The best game at least the most setup game, is the Ravens taking on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Who wins?
Honestly, my heart says the Bills, but my gut says the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is just way too good. Now, though, Josh Allen's a freaking dog, and I love him to death. Ravens are going to win.
Who's the MVP of the game? Is it Lamar Jackson? And then who is the MVP of the NFL?
So that game, I think it comes down to somebody who makes an incredible defensive play, just like what happened in the Notre Dame game, the interception on the last, like on one of the last plays of the game. I think it was that Notre Dame game. So I think something similar is going to happen in the Bills-Ravens game because I think it's going to be very close. MVP, I think it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
All right. Last thing. Are you one of those guys that is capable of watching football and watching college or professional basketball? Meaning, I can't handle too much. It's too much. I can only stay with football. Is that you or no?
No, I think I can handle multiple sports at the same time, but I've just been so phased out of basketball because of how political it's been and how the three-point shot is just kind of ruining the game. It's just I don't feel like watching professional basketball anymore. College basketball, yeah, I'll put on, like, I have YouTube TV and I'll do like the dual screens and I'll have like my volume set to like the game that I'm more like interested in. So it'll probably be the NFL this weekend. But still, yeah, I don't have a problem with dual sport games on at the same time.
Last thing. You ready? What would you be worth at Loyola Marymount in the current NIL world?
Batting gloves and an A2K glove.
But that's what you got anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the gear. You're just worth the gear.
So it's funny. My boy got drafted by the Nationals in the 32nd round, and I asked him, I was like, "What was your signing bonus?" And he goes, "I got $2,500. I got a free plane ticket to the Arizona Fall League, and I got an A2K glove. That's it." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "That's it." So translate that to a college value. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm not athletic enough. Unfortunately, I'm not athletic enough to be a football player. I'm 5'10". I'm pretty skinny, and I've got little bitch hands, so I can't hug a football properly like a quarterback can. I can't jump over a college safety. So football was out of my plan. Basketball, I was trash at. I will confidently say how bad I was at basketball. And I never gave soccer really a chance. I quit after 7th grade because I wanted to stick to baseball. So it was the NIL.
There you go, and it worked out.
NIL was always out of my future.
Hey, and last, have any of your friends out there, have they lost homes, or is there, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's actually really unfortunate. I know a lot of people who lost their homes. A lot of people who lived in the Valley, Topanga County, and the Palisades, kind of closer toward Agora Hills, who have suffered from. It's really sad. And I know a lot of people who made it out of, their houses like in Encino and in Studio City. They made it by without having their houses burned to the ground. So it's tough. I have family in Altadena. I think their house is still standing.
I have a friend who told me, he goes, the wildfires, they're about 5-10 miles away, but we can see them. And if they come this way, we're screwed. I guess they didn't. I don't know where he lives exactly. He's a high school, grade school friend of mine. And I don't know where he lives, but, exactly. But he's like, it's scary stuff. You see him out there, and you're like, man, that wind changes, goes this way. Next thing you know. All right, it's good to see you back. I'm digging. I like the beard. You know how I feel about it. All right.
That was going to be a question of mine.
At you.
That was going to be a question of mine.
I like the beard.
Do you give the beard the approval? Because I trimmed it a little bit.
You got to turn this way a little bit. I got to see the whole face. No, you got to have more. No, more. Man, that beard made you look like a damn movie star.